chance to interview Margaret Marshall, candidate for Charles County Board of Education. She's agreed to come in and have this conversation with ALG. So with your permission, we'll get started.
Very good.
Our first question tonight, what do you think are the three biggest issues facing the Board of Education and Charles County Public Schools?
All right, in light of this question, I did take a random sampling of the stakeholders. I had my ideas as to what the issues were, but I wanted to get their ideas as to what they thought the issues were, and we were more or less in consensus. And one was funding. Another was the fact that we have a difficult time recruiting and retaining quality teachers. And the third one was accountability. They felt that there were people who were not accountable for what they were supposed to be doing, and that this cost the school district a great deal. Okay? And one of the things about, I think one of the biggest issues about recruiting and retention of teachers was especially minority teachers. And I know there was a recent article in the paper stating that the diversity of the school population is far greater than the diversity of the teaching population. This is true, and it is not only true in Charles County, it is true across the country, because there really are not those many minority teachers or minorities going into teaching. So this has become a concern. Basically, those were the three issues that the stakeholders felt were facing this particular school district that should be addressed.
Very good. Well, moving on to number two. What in your background and current activities have helped prepare you for this position, and what sets you apart from the rest of the field?
I do not know the backgrounds of everybody who's running for position or a seat on the school board, but I will say this initially. I'm a native of Charles County, and I've heard at least one candidate say, Pam's been here since the 1800s. Well, I can talk that. My mom was on the Piscataway League. So I'm a real native of Charles County, and if I tell people that I was born in Glow Mountain, they say, where is it? Okay. So that's one thing that sets me apart. I left Charles County when I went to college, and I returned about 25 years ago at the invitation of some of the community leaders. Professionally, I've had over 40 years experience in education. And this experience has included being a master classroom teacher. And as a master classroom teacher, I was the cooperating teacher for numerous teacher interns, both in this county and other districts in which I taught. Here in Charles County in the classroom, I was at McDonough for 5 years. During that time, I simultaneously was on 3 state committees for education, on the core learning goals, the test design, and the assessment limits. Also during the time I was in the classroom, I was selected to be on a visiting team for Middle States evaluation of high schools and colleges. This was exciting. I went to central office. I was in the Office of Curriculum and Instruction. I was the resource specialist for the county in social studies. This entailed everything that could be entailed. Okay, I'll leave it there. But in the community, I'm very active in this community. I'm active in my church. I'm active in the Alpha Kappa Alpha sorority. I have been 3 times, the governor of Maryland has appointed me to the Board of Election Supervisors. I have been inducted into the Maryland Senior Citizen Hall of Fame for volunteerism. This is my county. It's my community, and I'm not only active in the schools, but I'm also active in the community at large. And I could go on, but the time has run out.
Very good. Thank you. Moving along to number 3. What steps would you take as a Board of Education member to work more closely with the commissioners, Planning and Growth Management, and the Charles County Public Schools to relieve the pressures of financial shortfalls and school overcrowding?
This cooperative work begins by respecting and getting to know others during a campaign for public service. Although we do not know who will be elected by the voters, we are in a better position to work for the county's common good and build consensus when we have developed respectful working relationships while on the campaign trail. In addition, we must remember that not one of us is a single entity. We are all the members of a board. And as a board, we must find common ground. And when we find that common ground is for the good of this county. And on the Board of Education, our first priority would be our youth, providing quality education for our youth. We have no personal agendas. It's just what is best for this county, what is best for the youth of this county. And so whatever the issue, that issue has to be resolved as a group. The other thing I want to say is, don't forget, we are also accountable to the taxpaying public.
Very good. Number 4, do you have any concerns about the FY 2015 budget prepared by the current Board of Education? And if so, how do you plan to address them?
I have concerns. How I plan to address them at this point, I do not know. I think it's the fact that the 2015 budget, to the best of my knowledge, is not really going to be funding the operational costs of St. Charles High School. We are opening a high school that is the state of the art, not only in Charles County or the state of Maryland, but I believe it's the state of the art high school in the nation. And the fact that you say that there is not money for its operating costs, I really feel to be unconscionable. How are we going to address that at this point in time? I do not know. In addition, the other concern is that the amount of money that the county spends per student is far below the state average. And this too, you hear that Charles County is the 9th wealthiest nation in the country, but yet the amount of money that we spend on our students is 14th in the state of Maryland. That is a concern that needs to be addressed collectively. And I think more people need to be aware of what is really happening insofar as the budget and how much money is being budgeted per child.
Very good. Well, thank you for that. Now we're down to that wonderful moment for the wild card question. So you get to pick it up and then pass it to me. Here you go.
Oh, sorry.
That's quite all right. Remember, this is a 5-minute question. So, what top priorities will you seek to accomplish within your first term?
I thought I had that answered someplace. In my first term, the first thing that I think that needs to be accomplished is to become better acquainted with the other board members, so that in becoming better acquainted with them and their concerns and their points of view, that we can better work collaboratively to address the concerns that face our schools and the youth in our county. That's one priority. A second, of course, would be the recruitment of really qualified teachers for our students. And once those teachers are recruited, working with the other board members and with those people that we have appointed to direct education in this county, we need to develop an ongoing professional staff development program to support our teachers. And this program has to be ongoing. It has to be one that addresses their particular concerns, their needs, that they could better work in the classes with our children. That would be a second thing. Also, in retaining our recruited personnel, I think we have to consider monetary incentives. I know no one wants to talk money, except the fact that our taxes are being raised, and that there are our property taxes. And like you, I'm a property owner in Charles County. Like you, I have to pay taxes. Like you, I know that most of this tax money is going to go to education. But as this money goes to education, I feel that we also need to consider raising the salaries of our professionals who are on the front line. The two professionals that I have in mind at this time are the teachers and the counselors. They are the two groups that come in daily contact with our students. I know at this point in time that our salaries are not competitive with the neighboring counties. I know as a teacher mentor at La Plata High School, I have had some fantastic teachers. And to see them go to Carver County or to see them go to Alexandria is painful. Now to go back home to New York or Michigan or Ohio, it's not so bad. You know, everyone wants to go home. But when they just go across the bridge, in either direction, that's painful. So I would like to see us in some way address the issue of salaries. That would be one way that we could retain our qualified teachers. We have a great deal at the current time with technology in the classrooms. And I know that each year I have a forum on technology integration in the classroom. And I know we begin with what's new in technology this year? What do we have available? And every year the list grows a little longer, all right? The list grows longer, but then we must teach people how to use the technology and then how to integrate it into their class instruction. That too becomes a part of staff development. And I would like to see a more profound staff development for the use of our technology. It's very expensive. It is fantastic when it is used correctly, but I think people are more comfortable using it if they know how to integrate it into their class instruction. So this goes back to staff development. So basically I would think that in summary, we would simply say the recruitment and retention of teachers, the raising of the salaries of especially our frontline people, ongoing staff development for our recruited staff. All this will benefit our students and quality education in Charles County.
Very good.
Did I do it?
You did wonderful. Thank you so very much tonight.
You did